Do you also neglect weather changes, cannot concentrate on your own priorities, fitness, and eating healthily? Of course, technology is not everything there is to blame, yet it's one of the main contributors to this constant feeling of missing out. Having been trapped into this idea of always looking forward to something and being unable to enjoy this very moment, I decided it's time to make a change. So, how do you develop healthy relationship with technology and use it in your own advantage rather than waste time which could be spent on something much greater? Having found out that the main contributor to addiction to technology for the vast majority of people is social media, I've been focusing for quite a while to reduce the time I spent on these platforms. I've initially developed some habits which reduced my screen time, such as no phone for the first hour when I wake up in the morning, no news and no notifications, as I find them very destructive. Yet, it was not enough for me to fully solve the issue of me neglecting my own life experiences. That's why here are the 3 new ideas I came up with to fully solve the issue. First of all, technology itself is not bad, but too much of technology is where the problem comes from. As I found from my research, an average person spends 2 hours 24 minutes a day on social media. Therefore, if we could reduce this time at least by 1/3, it would already make a tremendous difference in our lives. The first tip which I've implemented into my life is I limited the number of social media platforms I check on a daily basis. For instance, now I only use WhatsApp and Instagram, and the rest of the platforms I just log into them once in a while or when I have something specific to do, rather than just in order to scroll down my feed, which usually doesn't really lead to any life-changing experiences. Tip number 2 is I usually come up with 3 activities, each of them taking about 15 minutes a day for the whole month, and I'm trying to implement them in order to use this free time of social media to do something useful I've been postponing for quite a while. I decided to consume less and to create more of my own content. So I can still use the social media in order to get inspired, to work on my own projects, to connect with other content creators. But at the same time, I can reflect on what I have consumed during the day and put out my own interpretation by actively learning about the things happening in the world. And last but not least, what I found very helpful is I stop using my phone after a certain hour. When I feel that I've consumed enough of info for the day. It might happen at 3 p.m. or at 9 p.m., it doesn't really matter. But once I feel like it, I just put my phone on its alarm place and I do not touch it until the next day. So these are all the tips which I've developed over the course of the last months and a half in 2021 in order to be more intentional about how I use social media and all the modern technology.